What's up, my brother?
Hey man, what's going on? How are
All
you?
right. We got Mike Lyles here. This brother here is an attorney, and I always had questions about our justice system and how we have the different levels. And we just want to kind of discuss about the levels of our justice system because of what's going on in our country and all the different levels and the stages and what people do and how they do it. Because, a lot of times we think we know, but we really don't know. So I kind of want to ask Mike, so what's some of the first levels of the justice system? State, local, federal?
Yeah, well, one of the first ways that the criminal justice system or the civil justice system affects people is at the local level, at your city, town, or county for infractions that may occur. After that, it's the state level. Most crimes are prosecuted, if not all crimes, are prosecuted by state's attorneys and district attorneys who are elected by the citizens of those counties or states. And what is required is for us to understand that many, if not most, of the criminal violations that someone might be charged with are state level crimes, not federal crimes. So it's more important to be knowledgeable about those individuals who are running for various posts at the local level, county level, and state level. State attorneys general have the ability to prosecute state crimes. District attorneys and state's attorneys in our different counties in various states have the ability to prosecute state crimes. And locally, if you, for instance, have a dog that's not on a leash, could be a civil violation, a civil infraction that could be charged by the city local police and could be brought charges upon by the local state's attorney. So there are a lot of ways that a person's life is impacted by the department, by the different levels of justice in our society. Most of those are at the local, state, or county levels.
So a lot of times when we're thinking, just like on the federal level, we're thinking, oh man, we're going to get some help because we're going to get somebody as the federal attorney, the federal, what's the word I'm trying to say?
The Attorney General.
The Attorney General. We're thinking that, okay, we get the Attorney General, he better handle all of our civil, all of our racial and problems that we have, but it actually starts on a lower level to move up. That's what you're actually saying.
Yeah, I think most of what happens and what should happen is we as citizens need to be cognizant of the laws that are passed at our state level or our county or city or town level. Those are the laws that, if we pay attention to, those are the ones that start out the issues that we most times have to deal with.
Okay.
And federal laws can help, but they, throughout our history, have been a backstop. If we've not gotten our help at our state level, we normally look, as African Americans, for instance, look to the federal courts, the Department of Justice, to file charges that they can file at the federal level, but very, very difficult to bring those charges at the federal level without certain types of evidence.
Yeah. So actually, let's kind of break it down for some of the people that's listening to the chat. So we've been having these issues with brothers being shot in the back, Terrell Rice being shot on the playground with a toy gun, and we're not finding any justice. So what happens in a case like that when we want to take it to the federal, and that was, I guess, a city cop, I don't know, and they just threw it out so it never even gets there. So the elected officials, which was a state, or was he a city official, that the prosecutor in that case, if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, that was what's called a district attorney, someone who was elected at the county level, the county that is part of or where the city resides. In order for the federal government to come in, what the federal government is looking for is a federal civil rights violation. And in order to find a federal civil rights violation, you have to have evidence that the reason that the police officer shot the African American or whoever, that the shooting was based on some anger or what we call in legal terms animus at the person being a different race. very, very high standard to prove, or that the way that the police department is run makes it more probable that they will treat African Americans differently than they treat whites, for instance. And the civil rights violation really goes to the department and the county or the city where the police officer worked. Rarely will those be individual charges, but sometimes they can be.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty awesome that you're breaking that down for us, and even for myself to see clearly on, okay, there are stages to this, and a lot of times don't just look at the federal government to handle these situations. We have to start on the lower level with our city, county, and state levels.
Most definitely, because there is no, for instance, there is no federal crime of murder, right? So if you're trying to charge a police officer with murdering someone, a homicide that was done intentionally without just cause, there's no federal crime that said that the Justice Department could charge somebody with murder. So those crimes are state crimes, and so the evidence or the facts have to support that violation at the state level.
Gotcha. So now, question: does every state have a different, articles, so and so, whatever that might be? Is that what it is? Each state has their own different laws.
Yeah, all states have different laws, but in the main, murder is going to be pled, or the evidence to charge murder will be the same for every state.
Okay.
But there may be differences when it comes to police, because some states give police a certain kind of indemnification or immunity for certain activities, and some states do not. It just depends. There is some difference in that way, but most of the time, a police officer who is charged with quote unquote a murder is going to be given some immunity and some leeway in assessing whether or not that police officer felt at the time that there was a reasonable basis for that person to be in fear of imminent death to themselves or to someone near them or next to them or another citizen. If that officer can prove that danger, harm, imminent death was a reasonable feeling or emotion, they will probably not be charged with murder.
Gotcha. Well, I thank you, brother, for giving us the information. I hope you guys enjoyed this chat with Mike Lyles.